Right, Shannon Vlogs continuing 31 Days of Horror, Day 15, Children of the Corn 4! Yes, there's more. The Gathering. Gathering. And I actually also have a physical copy of this because I'm watching it mostly. There we go! Children of the Corn 4, The Gathering. Yes, I have this 9-film collection, and it is 6 Children of the Corn movies plus 3 of the later of the Halloween movies. So that's how I'm seeing a lot of these Children of the Corns. It doesn't have the original, that I have separately. So, yeah, back to Children of the Corn. This is another one I haven't seen. I did not know it existed, so it is definitely a first-time watch. I was extremely surprised when in the credits came up that it was Naomi Watts. I was like, what? What? Naomi Watts? Seriously? So that's wild. This one's from 96, so it's definitely earlier in her career. I don't know, it's probably the earliest thing that I've seen that she's done. And it also has Karen Black in it, she was an Easy Rider. I recognized her right away. I don't know what I recognize her from, but she's got a bajillion credits, especially TV credits. So I really, really recognized her. So it was kind of cool to have some stars in it that were familiar. And this one is about a prodigal daughter who returns when her agoraphobic mother isn't really able to take care of the other kids. So you know where they live is farmish country with lots of corn. So lots of corn. Back to the corn. There's always more corn. And yeah, so this one, it's kind of funny because like I was impressed with the cast, but I didn't really love it. Like it didn't really impress me all that much. The acting was okay, the story was okay. I didn't quite understand the story this time, so spoilers for Children of the Corn up until this point. It's not really a surprise because, well, if you look at the title, there's children and corn. So the stories generally revolve around like evil-ish or possessed-ish children who are near in influenced by cornfields, and stuff. And this one I wasn't quite sure. Like there was one kid, who's like the kid who wasn't in this one, Josiah. But I didn't really understand how he was doing what he was doing, and he wasn't really around a lot of people. I don't know if he ever even spoke, so it was kind of more confusing. It wasn't as bad as part 2, but it certainly was down from Urban Harvest, which was a lot of fun. Now, there was some interesting things in this one. There was lots of, it is definitely, one of my questions is it horror? And it's definitely horror. It's very gross. It's very violent. It's not, I don't think it's not as violent as the last one, but there's still a lot of violence. It's very bloody. There's gross things. There's bugs. There's creepy scenarios. There's lots of tension and all that kind of stuff. So it definitely is horror. For me, I didn't really find it scary. There were a couple scenes that were a little unnerving. There was definitely some more realism in terms of society, which was interesting because that's sort of been out the window for a while. The first one definitely felt like there was this isolated place and things were bananas, and then the second one, it was just I don't even know how to describe it. The third one, it's kind of like, you're believing it but not really true. This one felt more like real people, real life, the challenge of the daughter coming home, not really wanting to be there, would rather be somewhere else, but still is very much, understands where like this place and what's going on until things go crazy. And of course, one of the, often in horror movies, we have this character that's sort of like the unreliable witness, right? Her mom is the one who thinks that there's something wrong. She always thinks that there's something wrong, but because I don't know if like you could say because she's agoraphobic it's this way, but that's not true. I don't think having agoraphobia means you're unreliable. It just, it means having a condition. So it's kind of blurs those lines, but I think this is pretty early. I only remember hearing that term way later than 96, but not that it's a super new thing. It's the fear of open spaces. It's often people who are shut-ins or agoraphobic, if you're not familiar with the term. Anyway, so it's an interesting play for a horror movie, like not being able to leave where you are. Like that's a great thing to work with. But overall I didn't find it that scary. The bugs was gross. It wasn't like huge amounts, but yeah, bugs, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't enjoy it that much. I didn't find the story that compelling. That like the acting was fine, but it wasn't really that scary, and the story was kind of like, yeah, I just didn't really feel like I understood how it worked. But like how it tied the kids, because it's all these kids getting sick. Why did they get sick? It was pretty loose. I found, so I only gave it a 6 out of 10. There you go. A weird piece of trivia that I picked up from looking at the cast is the guy who plays like Naomi Watts' younger brother is Puck from Glee, and he feels like I didn't like he felt familiar in the movie. Like he's young, he's like a kid, but it's like, oh my god, he had the exact same sort of like standoffish attitude. So that was really funny. Oh my god. So I did do a drawing for it. It wasn't that much because I got distracted. Although I do love how this hook and eye looks. And then there's Josiah and the well and sick kids and oh, I don't know what that is. Oh, that's a bug. That's my antennae. Anyway, and that's a good line. It all starts with a lie. It's a good line. So there were some elements, but overall was not as much. It was definitely not as fun as Urban Harvest, nor as good as the original, but certainly wasn't as horrible as the second one. So I don't know. We'll see where the next one goes, and hopefully it picks back up again. And now we're gonna head on to the spoiler zone for Children of the Corn. I'm like, where are my notes? Spoiler zone. What am I gonna spoil? What am I gonna spoil? Yeah, mostly I didn't really get it. We have Josiah. Who is he? How did he get there? Was he resurrected? There's this well or this thing of water and this dead guy in it, and then like this manifestation of like what, and then someone gets killed in a barn, and then the kids get sick, and then somehow the kids are controlled by Josiah. I was like, what? Like, how did those things? And it was really slow. It's like the kids get sick, and then they're like, not really them. They were creepy, I'll give it that. I just didn't understand the connection to Josiah, how he was doing that, why he was doing that. He was very much on his own. He wasn't talking to people, he wasn't rallying people like we've seen in the other movies. So I was like, what are you doing? What's going on? I didn't really get it. It did have some good twists and turns, so I appreciated that. But overall, not that impressed. Not that impressed, folks. Let's hope number 5 gets scarier or better or something or cornier. No, not cornier. 2 was corny. 5 will hopefully be something else. All right, folks. See you tomorrow.